I'm going to show you half of some water testing that we're going to do, and then we're going to set up an experiment for chemical weathering to kind of see how that works. So you can't really do the tests for the water at home. So I have like water in these tiny little test things that I got from school, and then I put in test tablets. So these different test tablets are what we have. And you have to like buy them special. So these are kind of what they look like. They're like little test tabs. They look like medicine or something, but they're definitely not medicine. And so they're just test tablets that you use to see what's in your water. And so you can't really do that at home at all. So I'm just going to be showing you some of that today. We are going to look at just water. So this is just tap water, like out of the sink. And we're going to do a couple of different tests with just tap water to see what happens. Okay. So I have a control of just water. I did these before because a bunch of them take a while to actually settle and show a different color. So what I did was I took a little tablet, like I showed you before, these little tablets, and I dropped it into here, and then I just shook it up and waited for it to react. So there are a couple of different ones that I've done. So this control is just the water itself. So nothing has been added to this. It's exactly like this. The first one I'm going to show you is iron. Now, what happens with these little tests is the whole point is that it changes color if there is something there that it detects. So I want you to tell me, do you think that there's iron in my drinking water? Yes or no? So for example, there's like iron in cereal. Often it's added into cereal. And a lot of things get added into water, our drinking water, for a variety of different reasons. Okay, like fluoride and that kind of stuff. Okay, so you tell me, so does this look like it changed color at all? So this is the control. There's the control, there's the iron. Okay, any difference? Not much. This one looks a little cloudy. There's not really any iron here. Okay. All right. What about phosphorus? What is it? Sterling, what do you want to say?
Isn't there iron in our blood? Fight off things, so that they might have actually added it into like our water to like help not get sick from other things that you might get from.
You get iron from a variety of things. Iron is a good source of iron is red meat and green vegetables. So any sort of green vegetables have a lot of iron in them. So yes, you do need iron, but it's not typically added into water. So phosphorus is fairly common on Earth. So it's essential to life. It was first isolated from human urine, actually. So it was first isolated from that. Kind of interesting. Yeah, so it was taken from the body. So phosphorus is one of the essential elements to life. There's this acronym called CHNOPS, CHNOPS, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus with a C, like CHNOPS. CHNOPS. Nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. And so I'm going to ask you, so do you think phosphorus is in our drinking water? So is phosphorus in our drinking water? Yes or no? Hey, Mina. So maybe. Of course you don't know, Kylie. No one knows, except me. Well, and like other people who have done stuff like this. Okay, so based off of this, okay, is phosphorus in our drinking water? Yeah, look at all that color. It's not ew, Sterling. It's something that's part of our body. It's essential to human life, which is how they were able to isolate it. So phosphorus is pretty cool. Hopefully we'll have time to watch part of a video that shows more about it. Phosphorus is what is in matches. So phosphorus is essential. So it's not, your water isn't blue. I added, remember, I put little tablets inside here, and that's what turned it blue. So I put a tablet in, and the tablet reacts when it has phosphorus in it. So if I were using distilled water, not just bottled water, but like distilled water, where it took out all of the minerals, then the test would do nothing. All right, what about nitrate? I have two different tests for nitrate. Because there's kind of a lot of different nitrates. So it's an organic compound. Nitrates are common in fertilizers and explosives. There are also some in food, like it's naturally found in beets, spinach, arugula. So what do you think? Are there nitrates in our water? Nitrates in our water? What do we think? Okay, so here's the control. Here's nitrate number 1. It's about the same, right? About the same. Here's nitrate number 2. Can you tell? I'm going to put down nitrate number 1 because it's not very exciting. So can you tell with nitrate number 2 that it's a little bit off color? So what do you think it means if it's not very bright yellow? This just has a little bit of yellow to it. What might it mean if it's not very dark? If you think back to our phosphorus, this was pretty dark blue, right? But when I look at the nitrate, there's not a lot. So yeah, there's not very much of it inside. So it's a pretty small amount. All right, the last one that we're going to look at is chlorine. Do you think there's chlorine in our drinking water? Same stuff that gets put in pools, you know? So is there chlorine in our drinking water? Sterling, yes. Yes and no. What does that mean, Joshua? So, like some people have it and some people don't? Okay. So here's the control. Here's chlorine. Okay, what do you think? Is there chlorine in our drinking water? Yeah. It's pink. Why did they put chlorine in drinking water? Anybody know? Why might you put chlorine in drinking water? I'll give you a hint. It's for your safety. Yeah, to kind of clean it a little bit. So it kills things. It kills germs. And so it kind of keeps everything clean. So don't worry, if I had used pool water, this would be way darker. So it's definitely not the same amount as pool water, but we do have a good bit of chlorine in our drinking water. Not as much as pool stuff, but we do have quite a bit. So what we're going to do on Thursday is we're going to compare in very small amounts, Alex, very small amounts. Like very, very, very small. So for Thursday, what we're going to do is we're going to look at stream water. So just a guess, do you think the stream water will have more or less chlorine? Will the stream water have more or less chlorine? Exactly. Yeah, it'll have less because we put the chlorine in there. So we put the chlorine into our drinking water to clean it. So the stream water is not going to have chlorine. But I wonder if the stream water will have iron or nitrates, or will it still have phosphorus? So I want you to be thinking about that. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to be letting all of our vinegar sit for a couple days, and we will see if anything changes with those next class.